Right now, as you read this, there is a voice in your head. It's reading these words for you. It's narrating. Maybe it just said, "What voice?" That's the one. You've lived with it your entire life. Every decision, every regret, every 3 a.m. thought you wish you could unhear. It feels like you, the most private, untouchable part of you, the thing that makes you. But what if I told you that voice has not always been there? Most people assume that the inner monologue is just human, that since the first man stood upright on this earth, there was a voice in his head guiding him, reasoning, planning, worrying. That feels obvious. That feels safe. Forget that. In 1976, a Princeton psychologist named Julian Jaynes published a book that the academic world did not know how to handle. His argument was quiet, almost gentle, and completely devastating. 3,000 years ago, humans did not have an inner voice. Not suppressed, not silent, absent. There was nothing there. So the question that should be sitting in your chest right now is, if there was no voice inside their heads, how did they decide anything? How did a soldier on a battlefield choose to charge or retreat? How did a farmer decide when to plant? How did a mother decide how to protect her child? They couldn't think it through. There was no inner debate, no reasoning voice weighing the options. So what was there instead? Jaynes called it the bicameral mind. 2 chambers, 2 halves, operating completely separately. Half of the brain would generate a command. The other half would simply receive it. No question, no resistance, no negotiation. The command arrived and the body obeyed. And here is the part that changes everything. That command didn't feel like a thought. It felt like a voice from the outside. Picture an ancient soldier 3,000 years ago, standing at the edge of a battle he is about to lose. He does not think about what to do. There is no internal debate, no voice in his head saying, "Retreat, save yourself." Instead, he hears something out loud, a voice booming from somewhere above him or beside him or inside the air itself. It gives him a command and he obeys. He doesn't question it. He doesn't wonder where it came from, because to him, it is obvious where it came from. It is the gods. It is his ancestors. It is something divine and ancient and completely outside of himself. That voice was his own left hemisphere, firing signals to the right. He had no framework to understand that, so he built religions around it. He carved it into stone. He named the voices. He drew their faces. Every oracle, every prophet, every ancient figure who claimed to speak for the divine, they were not lying, they were just hearing themselves. And they had no idea. Then something shifted. Civilizations grew. Cities got crowded. Trade routes connected strangers who spoke different languages, followed different gods. The world got too complicated for simple divine commands, and the brain, over centuries, was forced to adapt. The 2 chambers began to merge. The external voice got pulled inward, and for the first time in human history, a person stood somewhere and heard the command and recognized it. That's me. That's coming from me. That moment of recognition is what Jaynes called the birth of consciousness. Not the beginning of human life, not fire, not language, not tools. Consciousness itself was a recent update. An upgrade the species was forced to install because the old operating system could no longer handle the complexity of the world we had built. The gods didn't disappear. We just realized we had been the gods the entire time. Now think about what we call schizophrenia today. A person hears voices, clear, external, commanding, voices that feel completely real, completely separate from themselves. We call it a disorder, a malfunction, a misfiring of broken circuitry. We give them medication to make the voices stop, and that is the right thing to do. But sit with this for just one moment. What Jaynes described, hearing external voices, obeying commands that feel divine, having no inner narrator to question any of it, that was the default state of every human being on this planet 3,000 years ago. It wasn't a disease then, it was just Tuesday. So when a person today hears those voices, what if the brain isn't breaking down? What if it's just briefly reverting? What if underneath all the language and the consciousness and the inner monologue you call you, the old operating system is still running, dormant, waiting? And that voice you hear right now, reading these words, the one that feels like your soul, your identity, the most private part of you, is newer than you think, much newer, and something older was there before it.